are underwater. Like, they just are ocean now, where people's homes were. And the part that is on land is almost leveled. They need, like, this is, it's like the strongest hurricane that's made landfall in history, tied with one that happened in 1935. And it made a direct hit on the Bahamas, an island country, and with of like low-lying islands. Is just, it's bad. Anything you can do to donate, please do. I have bahamasredcross.org/donate if you're from monetary donations. If you have in-kind donations, supplies and stuff, I have further links down in the info, which is down there, up there, depending on where you're watching this. The probably best way for people around the globe to do that is contact your local Bahamian consulate. By local, it might be just the one in your country. If you're in South Florida, the Miami-Dade Broward area has mobilized like incredibly, and so there's also a link to the Miami Herald article that details all the local relief efforts and supplies donation gathering down there. So please help the Bahamas. And now I'm not going to copy an article about the Bahamas because I will just get, like, just looking at the pictures makes me incredibly sad. Probably because I've lived on an island. Like, I've spent a couple months living on an island system like that. I lived in Miami. It's just, I'm very aware of how devastating this is, which is why and it's affecting me a lot. Um, Especially the satellite pay. Just like the thought of a Cat 5 hurricane parking over an. Okay. So these are the reason I was a little late starting today than I anticipated was one, I was gathering all the info to link for all the Bahamas relief efforts, and two, I keep forgetting that, you know, I've been filling these two pens during the week when not reviewing in order to clear out all the remaining sparkle. The Custom Heritage 92 does not have that problem. Its feed actually, it doesn't have like flow issues if it has too much sparkle built up. The the Parker 45 definitely has issues. It needs to be cleaned out with another ink, or else it will start having major behavior problems. Um, Even the Waterman, depending, can be a little bit like it can clog a little bit, especially because I'm like filling and refilling with a different sparkle ink successively, not just like normal rating with it. It's not like a normal situation with these two. So, you know what I should do? Hold on, I'm gonna set up Moobot to bug y'all to donate to the Bahamas in the chat. So let me see, we're gonna make a command. Custom commands. And we're going to go to the full HTTPS with this. We're going to show advanced options. save that. What is my default? Sorry, this is very exciting, I know. Okay. Okay, there we are. So we are gonna, there we are. And that gets you the full cool. Just wanted to get that up and running because that's important. All right, so now we're gonna fill pens. Oh geez, I forgot those were in there. I know that was super exciting. And I'm gonna actually remember to do the display of the swatch before I start writing, because I forgot to do that for the second one last week, and it made for a interesting timestamp situation. Okay. Why did I put that up there? I don't know. It's Wednesday. Who knows? So we gotta shake this like the dickens because it is sparkle ink that has sat around for a very long time. Okay, that looks good. Cool. Gonna push a little bit down so it's easier filling. I'm gonna try a new thing where I wipe. No, I'm not gonna wipe everything off later. That's how I get dried out pens. Okay, yeah, this one, the ink is a light orange, if I remember correctly. You can even see that there. The color's a little bit, it's going a little bit more vibrant. As per normal, it's sucking out the reds. It just really doesn't like the reds. Let's see if I can color correct this a little bit. So I'm going to use that towel. That's too red. So I do have some temperature control. But like not in the right way. I don't have a detailed temp control. That looks good. See, now it just like at least matches what I see on my desk. Actually, I have temp control on my light. Let me see. That's more blue. That's more yellow, which actually counterbalances quite nicely. I don't know. Now I'm like all the way yellow. Sorry, I'm gonna stand up and mess with the light. you're gonna see my torso. You know what? Whatever. We're gonna call that good. Because, I don't know, my brain's just been a little bit frazzly over the last few days. I think all the images of the Bahamas is throwing it off somehow. I'm gonna reshake this because there's probably stuff settling. Also, my work schedule has turned out to have completely shifted around. Not by any, like, not intentionally. I didn't intentionally move it. But just like over the last month or so, it's shifted such that I normally have, I used to have Thursdays and Fridays pretty much off. But then over the course of this past month, it's just shifted. So now it's like Tuesday, Wednesdays. Even though like I'm looking for students on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, for some reason I'm just like I'm working on a side gig on Fridays. And then Thursdays I usually have, well, this week I actually have like a work thing on Thursday and then like a business, like a networking thing on Thursday, like two things. I normally have this and another thing on Thursdays. But anyway, so we've got this all worked out. I recently rearranged some sections of my coloring. So I don't remember, and this color was in that span where it could have been rearranged. Yes, it was. Okay. So here it is, Diamine Caramel Sparkle. That is way more red than it actually is in real life. It's usually way more yellow. It's way more orangey. Yeah, I don't know how to correct for that other than, I don't know. But yeah, this camera is just leaving behind the yellow components and emphasizing the red, which is the opposite of, I guess I was just trying to get red to emphasize other places. So that's probably what happened. I don't know. This camera doesn't like this ink. It's actually pretty comparable to, this is why I said I rearranged it, don't know if I'm happy with it. Diamine Autumn Oak. But you can see Autumn Oak is a lot lighter, and like Caramel Sparkle, like Autumn Oak is more orange and Caramel Sparkle is actually slightly more brown, even though they both look really red here. It's really weird. Versus like in real life, these two are fairly close. Like they're not nearly as far apart as they look here. It's just this is emphasizing the red component now. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's just being strange. But yeah. So we've got this. But that's why, even though they're close, I'm gonna put them close together when I do the scans. But like for organizational purposes, it was actually like this really just didn't fit in with the orangish red parts I have. It's also fairly close to Diamine Brandy Dazzle, which that looks like its actual color here. I don't know, webcam being dumb. But yeah. So I don't know. But yeah, that's Diamine Brandy Dazzle. Not Brandy Dazzle, Caramel Sparkle. Brandy Dazzle will be in a few days. So let's get the Hipponoto. And that needs to be sharpened. Classroom friendly. I really do love this sharpener. Not the least because it's yellow. And stuff fell over my desk. There's some precariously stacked stuff. And then where's my piece of paper? There it is, to block hand oils. this Diamine. Caramel Sparkle. And then I'm going to remind you once again. Well, actually, no, I'm going to count and then I'm going to remind you. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, this webcam, maybe it doesn't like yellow components because the yellow also looked, but like oranges looked fine. I don't know. With like things that have like mixes that have like inks that are like blue green, it takes out the green and just emphasizes the blue. But apparently this like orangish red brown thing, it just emphasizes the reds, takes out the orange and yellows. I don't understand. Okay, so before I start writing, I'm gonna remind you once again, donate to the Bahamian hurricane relief effort. Please. So now we're gonna get writing. Help if I had. Okay. Yeah, this is very pretty. It's got a bit of that like pale, like translucent quality to it that Diamine Autumn Oak has. So this one's interesting. As it goes down a little bit more orange as you write with it, but then it turns more red as it dries. And I'm also noticing just on this page up here, it's a little bit more red versus down here where it's a little bit more orange, and that could just be with like the amount of ink that's initially going down on the page. It's like, okay, yeah, this is the first thing after a fill, so it's gonna be a little bit darker in that initial lettering. Okay. Wait, this was like a super tiny article, damn it. This backfired. We're gonna continue the article, but no, it says continue to 96. Is clicking it not giving me the full article anymore? God damn it. Oh well. It is a longer article, we're still good. So interestingly, I'm only really seeing a ton of shimmer in the wet pen. Like I said, all these are different. And it's gold shimmer in this one, and it seems to just like blend very well with the base color. It's not like with the Inferno Orange where it was like fire. It's more just like adds a glow to it that's very pleasant. This is a good one. Yeah, I think I've decided. I think I mentioned this dilemma earlier, like in past streams, that I wasn't sure none of this notebook if I'm gonna get like a whole another 5-pack of these Kikuyo notebooks, if I'm just gonna get a pack of loose leaf and like another binder. And I'm gonna go the binder route, just because that way I don't have to deal with like this all flaps and everything everywhere. I could also just get like a spiral bound. That would work too. Okay. The sink is slightly dry because it's making me in my dry pen. But as is usual with sparkle inks, I can't quite tell if it's the base ink that's doing that or the fact that this feed doesn't agree as much with sparkles. Okay. So now I have to go find A6. Yeah, okay. They're not all smooth anymore. Actually, let me do that again for you ASMR people. It's so nice, isn't it? Just... Okay, apparently it is status quo for administrations to just like do budget stuff without legislative interference. Didn't realize that. Probably should have clarified that in the headline because it made it seem a lot more sensational than it actually is. Yeah, and this is, yeah, this one, it's hard to tell because of the color here because it just looks so red on screen. It is not that red. I wonder if it seems to be a like desk cam specific thing. Like the same camera on my face is fine. So let me try and. You see, I can't tell if the color's better at all. Yeah, that I don't think helped. But it's much darker in the wet pen, which is to be expected with these paler type things, or not things, inks. They do tend to like just are like they're pale, so they're more translucent, so putting more ink on the page is going to have a much more profound effect. However, that wet pen basically gets rid of any, like there's some really pretty shading in these two. The wet pen completely gets rid of that shading. But it makes it, I guess, slightly more legible. So it's up to you. I think this is a perfectly legible ink in all three. I don't, unlike some of these pale inks where it's like, yeah, it's really only usable in the wet pen. I think this is perfectly serviceable in all three. And it has, I think, more unique looking properties in the dryer or regular pen than in the wet pen. So let's do some Rhodia. As I get it out, remember, please donate to the Bahamas relief effort. All the links are up there, depending on what system you're in. Yay! Yeah, the shading is just really pretty in the dry and the wet writer, and not the dry and the regular writers. But this one in particular is really loving. I mean, a lot of it, sparkle distribution is a little bit of a crapshoot. It really is. It depends on how you filled the pen that day, how you shook the bottle beforehand. Lots of little variables. How the feed is particularly like the subatomic randomness that influences adhesion and cohesion. How that works in your feed that day. But today, the sparkle awards go to the wet pen. Why are you not showing? Normally, this is a great way to show bling sparkle. Just camera issues all day. Well, that's irritating. Oh well. You can see it up there. How much bling it is. I don't know, maybe it has to do with this ink. Like I mentioned before, the sparkle doesn't really go bling it out as much as with the other sparkle inks that I've done in this series. It's much more, it sinks into the paper a lot more. Yeah, because you can see it in that one, no problem. It's like, okay, hello sparkle bling time. But that's more going it up to the light. Anyway. Okay, so let's do it on shitty paper. Because that's always fun with these sparkle inks especially. It's like, how much can you tell that it's still fabulous? Okay. I hit the wrong button, sorry. That's the button I wanted to hit. Gotta get that going. Hit the wrong, I got a list of commands and it's just, they're one on top of another and it's just, yeah. Okay, we have Diamine, caramel, sparkle, okay. I just cannot with straight lines today. Okay. Then put okay. Just a nice snap. Yeah, it's looking much more. I mean, I guess like all inks, it just looks more like its base color here on the staples. But because the base color and all the other papers is so shading dependent, it just looks so flat and meh on this paper, more so than other inks I've seen. That's pretty unusual for inks where their wow factor is really dependent on like shading or sheen or not so much sparkle. Sparkle happens on cheap paper too, or like the dual chrome nature of the ink. If the base color isn't punchy without any of those extra properties, they look very boring on the shit paper. Conversely, if the ink is attractive to you because the base color is good and it just so happens to have all these extra properties, then that's going to have a lot more payoff on crap paper because you like the base color. I love it when I can write out iffy when copying down an official newspaper article. Okay. So, yep. This is where school sales where, oh no, you only use one side of the page means you're out like maybe 50 cents. Um, so yeah. And like I've been using this notebook for over a year using one side of the page. Like basically one page every week for over a year. So yeah, it's all depends on, and who knows, 50 cents might be a lot for you. I understand that. I'm currently in a position like that myself where it's like, yeah, that 50 cents could make the day. Well, not really. I'm not down to the 50-cent level, but it's like, oh, it's only $5. $5 could make or break right now. Maybe not $5. $20 could definitely make or break. $5, I can afford to spare $5, maybe here or there. But yeah, budgets are tight right now. What is today? What am I thinking today? I'm doing the ink name. Oh, damn it. Errors. Can't count today. Just so you know, normally these erasers are really good, don't require as much pressure I'm applying. That is a force of habit. I could have just glid it over that page and had good erasing. I recommend those Sakura foam erasers, both the foam line and the arch line, which the arch line is the same eraser inside it as the foam line. It just has a nice, very functional cardboard sleeve to it. Actually, let's turn this into a momentary eraser review. So this is the arch. So it's a foam eraser, like I said, same foam as in the regular foam eraser, but notice there's the difference in the sleeve. This one has an arch sleeve, which is where the name comes from, which means it doesn't cut into the eraser like it does if when you like hold it like that. It's held so like when you hold it, the pressure distributes. It even has little like grippy things here. There are also perforations along here, so when you use up the eraser, you can slide it forward and tear off the perforation, which I actually should probably do soon on this one. Versus this one's just, yeah, it's just a foam sleeve. They're slightly more expensive because doing all this fancy perforation stuff does cost money, but it's not significantly more expensive. It's like a couple cents, like maybe a quarter or something. But this is only available in like 2 sizes. This is available in a whole slew of sizes. Like you can get like a big chunk block of these Sakura, of the regular foam ones. I really like these. They also make these, like I said, you can just glide them over the paper, like hardly any pressure. And you get erasing power. They're great for delicate papers. Like, I'm, like, not applying pressure. That was just, like, gliding. I always forget that, though. If you like a grippier eraser, they do make a version of these with some more grip versus the light airiness. That's called the Sumo Grip eraser line. So it has that same really powerful erasing power of the foam with slightly more grippiness. These are my favorite erasers. They're the best. I also do have a Hitobashi eraser that I really like. That's what's currently in my tutoring bag because it's a longer, skinnier one, so I can get corners and everything for finer details because I do a lot of math tutoring, so I'm erasing like exponents and stuff. So just that big chunk eraser is not quite fine enough for that job. Anyway, so yeah. Good. This actually, if you want a fun ink for cheap paper, this is great, except you can't use the back. Okay, and then that's going to be largely it for this ink for today. So I'm going to empty this. And then as I empty it, I'm going to reiterate, please, please, please donate to the Bahamas relief effort. Part of the reason why I'm doing this is because I can't afford to donate really much, if at all. Like I said, times are a little short right now. And so I'm doing what I can to spread awareness. That's one of the ways I'm donating, is getting the word out. If you have stuff to donate, which I actually might have stuff to donate, I need to like rifle through things. And you can send them to either your local, like if you have a local Bahamian consulate, again, there's a link down in the description or the info if you're watching this on Twitch. That's going to link you to a Twitter post which has details of where the consulates are that are currently accepting donations. You can mail them or you can drop them off if they're local to you. If it's not on that list, Google Bahamian consulate and see if you have one near you or one in your country, depending on if you're international or not, see if you can donate. If you can't, if there's not one near you, then donating to the Bahamian Red Cross is the best bet. I'd recommend doing the Bahamian Red Cross versus the American Red Cross because the Bahamian Red Cross is for the Bahamas. It's the Bahamas-based arm. So all of that's going direct versus the American Red Cross. If you donate, that's going to go to the American relief, like American efforts. I'm not saying don't donate to the American Red Cross, but if you want to donate for this specific cause, hurricane relief, donate to the Bahamas Red Cross or the International Red Cross because this is international. I also there's a lot of real inefficiencies in how the American Red Cross is run. I donated blood with them for a while before I just got really fed up with them. It took like 3 times as long to donate blood with them than it does with any other independent blood bank I've donated with, and I've donated with quite a few everywhere I've lived, and it's not because of the actual donation process, it's all their paperwork steps take so much longer than everyone else's. Even though they have more technology, there's a lot of inefficiencies in the American Red Cross. So Bahamas Red Cross, donate monetarily if you can't do items. Also, if you live in South Florida, there's a lot of efforts going on in South Florida because it's right there. It's like a quick boat ride over. So there's a lot of item donations happening in South Florida. And a link to a really good Miami Herald article is in the description as well. I'm going to go clean pens, use this time to go, look at all those donation links, and we'll be back with Diamine Magical Forest after this, after I clean the pens. hello, hello, we're back. Should put that over here. Okay. So, hope you use that time to, well, like get a drink, go to the bathroom, or whatever. And also to donate to yield either the Bahamas Red Cross or look into how you can donate in-kind donations and supplies to help the Bahamas relief effort, because the situation there is really fucked right now. There have been widespread, most news organizations latched onto this yesterday because it was the only news we had of the Bahamas, because they've been flattened. There's like communication is very hard. Just of satellite images of what the island looks like, and it's just a good part of Grand Bahama is just gone. And then, oh, I forget the name of the other island, though it starts with an A. It's also equally in as bad a shape. If you go to that Miami Herald article that is linked below in the information in the description, you'll see they have some video there of just what gold in it, which Golden Oasis is, but or I was more interested in all my other green inks rather than this green ink. That's also entirely possible, because I have a lot of other green inks. Because it is missing. It's just having trouble. And that's almost always my internet's fault. Oh, and it disconnected a long time while I was away. It's just, sometimes my internet struggles, man. Anyway. This is why I haven't upgraded, because honestly, I pay for what I pay for and I get like half of it. So why should I pay even more money for stuff I'm never gonna get? Where is it? There it is. Tiny magical forest. It's taking out the yellow component. It just doesn't like, the webcam does not like yellows today for whatever reason. So this is showing a little duller and a little more blue than it actually is. It's actually a fairly straightforward green. If you remember my Jacques Arbon, actually that's like really yellow. Let me see if I can, that's not actually helping. It's blue, that's really yellow. So that's more what the color actually looks like, even though the rest of everything is still really yellow. But you get the idea. And this has much more of a silver cast because there is, you know, silver shimmer in it. So yeah. I have it between these two because the Colorverse Arabella, I wasn't really sure where to put Arabella. It's kind of a weird shade. I'll probably put it between the Vert Amazon and Sherwood Green. Yeah, and I'll see. Okay, so let's get right in with it. Here's my Hippodoto. Things going everywhere. My sheet of writing paper underneath because my hand oils. So I cycle through notebooks for my tutoring job. I was writing tutoring as I said tutoring. And I recently started a new notebook. It's one of those Marmon Spiral Basics. And I'd used those before and really liked them. But then I used it again and I'm like, oh wow, my handles are wrecking this paper. I don't remember it doing that badly. Then I realized the last time I used one of those notebooks was winter. So I mainly had long sleeves on the paper, so my hand oils of like my arm weren't getting anywhere, which is why I liked it more. It doesn't, my hand oils don't wreck it like they do Rhodia. Rhodia and Clairefontaine, my hand oils fuck with it by making ink feather and bleed on the paper and some skipping, but mainly feather and bleed. On Maruman, it turns out what happens is that the feathering and bleeding is fine. It makes it just like not stick to the page. Like the ink doesn't want to come out. So I feel like I have to press harder to get the ink to work on the page. Like my grip is gone between the nib and the pen and the page. Which is more what you'd expect as an effect if you have oils all over the page. Or like dust or something. But yeah, it's strange. Okay. So this is a green. I can see a lot of people getting behind. I think I had this discussion with, well, not discussion, more just quick comment exchange with Denise of Inkaday. And where I posted my review of Diamine Golden Oasis saying, oh, it's a true green. And she was like, I think it reads more light green to me. And I'm like, you know what? Valid point. Because my preference for greens tends to be more towards the yellow spectrum. So a lot of people probably would look at this and say, this is a true green. To me, it reads slightly blue. Probably because just my reference of what green is slightly more yellow. Just because, like, that's what I gravitate towards. Like, some people gravitate like, oh, it's a pure orange, when to me it's a red orange, or it's a pure orange, or no, that's a yellow orange. So but like what I'm doing right now is I'm like thinking of the Crayola crayon green. I'm like, yeah, that probably matches. Standards are weird. Potential iffy, there we are. And we've already got a clog. That's unfortunate. Yeah, there was a lot of silver up front. Probably testing this on the paper that has all my hand oils on it is not the best. Slightly better, but that's just more feed can't do silver. Come. This is just so frustrating because I know it's just like it doesn't want to do it in this pen. Okay. Yeah, just like it had a great gusto and then it just like clogged immediately. Like I said, that pen just really doesn't like sparkle. Versus this one is, oh man, this is super wet. And that's what it was feeling like up here. It was super wet. And I was like, damn, this is nice. And then it was like, never mind. We're going to clog. So it did tam down a bit from the start. Yeah, it's just looking, something's just making it real dull here. But now it's looking too yellow. I don't know what is going on with the color. I'm trying, y'all. It's just, I don't know, it's being weird with this one. Also, the focus was off. I don't know. It just, the camera does not like my inks today. Okay. Now it's bothering me what the white balance is. It's a little better, I guess. Don't want it too blue because this is indeed there we are, that's better. Adjusting the white balance on my actual lighting versus in the white balance here. That helps. Mm-hmm. There. And we ended up just turning down the... There we are. Okay. Sorry guys, I just keep messing with it and I'm not sure I'm making it better or worse. Now it looks like more balanced light here now. In the actual page at least. The reason why I adjusted that was I looked down, I'm like, that looks really yellow. Then I looked up my light and I was like, oh yeah, I could adjust that. Anyway. Quarter of... Yeah, this is a super wet ink. Holy shit. This bothers me. Just reading, they're like, Medicaid, the healthcare program for the poor and disabled. In Georgia, Medicaid is only for people who, it's only for people who are poor if you're also pregnant or have kids. It's not for everyone poor. Anyway, hello there. We're reviewing inks. I've got a very sparkly, that's not, there we are, there's the sparkle. Green ink here. Yep, and this is a very wet ink. It's a little ridiculous. So let's do it on Kaguya. There we are. I do teach. I teach as a private tutor. So yeah, this is just frustrating that it's just like I could tell it's so good. It wants to. Like it's trying so hard. And it's just like, nope, we're too much sparkle. We're gonna clog the pen. Leaves. Oh, this is just horrible trying to write with this when it's clogged. But oh well. It's a thing that happens. Apparently we disconnected and reconnected again. I am so sorry. My internet is just being dumb. And there's a bunch of dropped frames. Yeah. I'm so sorry. My internet is just cannot do it today. I just realized that I drew the line on the wrong line here. These should be 5 wide, which is what happened to me last week. I forgot to draw the line, so I went over. This should be there. I don't know why that was so hard, because it's not even like I have to count with Kikuyu. They have little marks on the page to help you delineate. Like literally every 5 lines they have a little mark. And it's very nice. Nice ASMR for you guys. It's just like click. There, I need to like clean this cap. It's a little ridiculous. Like I looked here and I'm like, it's just like a kaleidoscope of color in there. It's just ridiculous. Mm-hmm. Okay. So yeah, this is a stupid wet ink that you can clearly see really affects the flow of the pen, really affects the color. It just clogged in the dry one. It's just a standard green in the regular one, and then it's just like a really deep green with just so much silver sparkle in the wet pen. It's just like, that's like the biggest thing I can say about this ink is that like, yep, it's a bog standard green with just so much sparkle. So much silver sparkle. Where is my Rhodia pad? Okay. While I find my Rhodia pad, I want to remind you to please donate to the Bahama Hurricanes relief effort that is down there in the info, that bahamasredcross.org/donate. Like I said, the links are in the description, in my info on Twitch, and I'm going to throw up the link again right here. Cool. There it is. And then I'm realizing that this is... I don't even know. There we go, that's a little better. Instead, I've just been messing with all the lighting and everything today because it's just not cooperating. Usually, the last couple weeks, I've just been able to leave it and it's good through the whole thing. This time, it's just the color. Like, this looks so red on the screen. It is a brown. It is an orangey brown. I do not know what is happening there. Oh, what am I doing? Jeez. Grabbed the wrong pen. Apparently I'm like brain dead today. Now I get to do the other one. I don't know why I'm so brain dead. Maybe it's because I spent a lot of effort writing other things earlier before doing this. It's not like I worked exactly, but like, you know, wrote a thank you note to my grandma. Did some training videos for work. Yeah, this is really wet. You're starting to see some feathering, a little bit of feathering here even on the rhodia, which I'm not surprised at. I'm actually surprised that didn't happen on the Kikuyo. Let's just... Can we get the shine? Can we get the shiny? Well, we're getting it from here now where we weren't before. It just doesn't... I don't know. Oh yeah, there's like even like sparkle coming up on top of the feed. It's just like, it's like forming ink crud but with sparkles. That's ridiculous. Yeah, I went from like having some to just like absolutely nothing. That is... I have never seen the sparkle version of ink crud before. I'm actually gonna try and... Yeah, this is gonna need some serious TLC to clean it out. we go. This will be the last one of the day. I can already tell this is blowing through the paper. It's so wet. Okay. And I will say to not discount the Republican governor, who I disagree with on all fronts, but he's cutting the spending elsewhere so he can give pay bumps to teachers, which I'm like, okay, I guess. Let's see how bad it was on the other side. Oh boy. Yep, as expected, that did bleed through to the opposite page. And that is atrocious. Oh my god, that's so bad. Yeah, I don't even know what to say about this thing. It's just weird. It's a nice green, but it's just so wet. It just obliterates things. It's like you need a dry pen to control the flow of the ink, but if you get too dry, it clogs. And so there's a really delicate balance that's like staying there with this ink. So it's just, I don't know. It's very weird. Anyway. Thank you for joining me. Once again, please. Oh no, it's super red. Oh no, that's because Flux turned on. Got it. But thank you for joining me. Please donate to the Bahama Red Cross to help with their hurricane relief efforts. Like I said, like I've been saying kind of periodically the whole stream, the islands were pretty much leveled by this hurricane, at least the two of the bigger islands of the Bahamas, and a good chunk of them are still underwater. If you haven't seen the images of Grand Bahama, Google Grand Bahama, I guess satellite Dorian or something like that. You'll see that you'll find the pictures. And if you can donate supplies, that works too. You can do that by finding your nearest Bahamian consulate. There's a link in the info and the description that is going to bring you to a Twitter thread with a bunch of other things, places you can donate. If those are all really far away, try and Google to see if you have a Bahamian consulate closer to you. If you want to donate more money-wise, if you live in South Florida, there's a lot of supply and relief efforts going on down in South Florida. So please do check that in that list. There's a link to the Miami Herald article it's a really good article with a bunch of resources linked. So yeah, please help this relief effort. The damage is catastrophic, historic, strongest hurricane to make landfall in the Atlantic Basin ever. Okay, not ever. It's tied with a hurricane in 1935. That, like, record-breaking. It sat over the islands for over 24 hours. Just, it's heartbreaking. So please help with the relief effort. I will see you next week, back on Thursdays. This was just an exception because I have an event tomorrow night, but I will see you on Thursday next week. And thank you for joining me. Bye.